It's just connecting to it right now. I'm pretty sure it'll start. Okay, folks, welcome to the Yellowstone Gubernatorial debate for Season 4. We are joined here today at the Anaheim Theater in sunny California. I want to introduce my co-moderator, good friend of mine. We are great friends and never have any problems. John Richards.
Yes, we're very good friends.
We're
Very
very
good
good
friends.
friends.
Someone,
Very good
some would
friends.
call us more than friends. Oh,
Some would
joking. Wrong
follow.
mic.
Well, nope. That's for private chats.
We are
Anyone.
best friends. Let's just say we're best friends.
We're
We
very
are
good
best
friends. We're
friends. We're
very good
very good
friends.
friends. We're best friends.
Nonetheless, we are joined here today to debate one of the most important gubernatorial elections happening in this general election. Governor Shaun English, who has just fought off a
Shameful.
recall effort,
Shameful.
a recall effort led by his opponent here, Mr. Donnie Drake, is facing now Donnie Drake in an election, in an official election. So this should be an interesting debate. We have a lot of good questions here tonight. But first off, let me introduce our candidates, starting with Governor Shaun English and Senator Dickie Drake. We'll start with Senator Drake, because you won the coin toss for opening statements. Senator Drake, you may begin.
Thank you, Senator Wheeler. It's an amazing pleasure to be in this arena, to be able to have this debate. Quite frankly, like you said, this is one of the most important debates of our lifetime, one of the most important gubernatorial races of our lifetime. This makes this debate very important as well. What is going on in our state is a lack of competent leadership. For the past few weeks, we've had an incompetent governor who has time and time again embarrassed Yellowstone, the entire Commonwealth, and quite frankly, himself. I tried, and the movement tried to get him out of office before, to elect competent leadership. That failed. But the truth is, the people are tired of failure after failure. Yet still, our Commonwealth does not have a constitution. Yet still, our Commonwealth does not have a legislature. Yet still, our Commonwealth is in shambles. It's time for a change. We have tried democratic leadership, and I don't hold Shaun English against the Democrats. I think this is probably their worst candidate ever. I work well with Democrats. You know this, moderator. But it's time to stick to what we know. It's time to come back to conservative leadership, common sense laws in this country. With that, I yield. Hope not on the chamber floor.
You're too used to it. I like to hear that. Thank you, Senator
That
Drake.
just shows that he's a very experienced person.
No opinions from the moderators.
Okay.
Thank you, Senator
No
Drake.
First Amendments.
Thank you, Senator Drake. Not here. Speech is controlled by me here. In this room, speech is controlled by me. Thank you, Senator Drake.
It's controlled by the left-wing
Democrat. Governor English, you may go ahead. Your opening statement. Governor English, you may proceed. I'm only going to wait so long, and then I will move on to our first question. So I'll say that. Oh.
Okay, he left. So this is what we're gonna do. So like
Hold on.
last debate, while we're waiting for people to come back, we're going to listen.
Right now. He's in it. He has to request to speak. There we go.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. All right. Governor English, go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening. I would like to thank Mr. Wheeler and Mr. House for moderating this debate between me and Senator Drake. In this debate, I and Mr. Drake will lay out our visions for Yellowstone and fulfill. When I was first elected governor of Yellowstone, I inherited a state left behind by conservative governors. The moment I took office, we began a new direction. As governor, we legalized gay marriage and closed loopholes in our laws. As governor, we took steps towards cleaning up the homeless crisis by providing resources to homeless Yellowstonians. As governor, we provided resource officers to all K through 12 schools to preserve the law and ensure the campus is safe. As governor, our state is moving in a direction that will last a decade and make myself proud. I know we have accomplished so much together. So in this debate, I hope to lay out my plans for a second term as governor of Yellowstone, one that boosts our economy, provides affordable living, and leaves no Yellowstonian behind. So on June 10th, I urge you all to head to the ballot box, vote your heart and consciousness, and leave behind a message in American history. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor English, and I am going to give you the first question. And I think this first part of the debate will be less issues focused and more record focused, since you both have a long and extensive record here in Yellowstone and across the country.
Some of them will call it a shady record, but...
Go.
And he's gone again.
I was going to ask.
All right,
question,
I'll be checking audit
oh.
logs. If I find out someone is admin abusing, you will lose your admin.
So true. So true. Thank you, John, for knowing what that means, because I do not. Governor English, okay, we're going back to you. Like I said, this will be record focused, and
Hey, Chris Hilton, you better stop disconnecting people from the fucking debate, or I'm gonna tell Ricky, I'm gonna tell David, and they're gonna fucking
Chris would
whoop
never
your
do that.
ass.
Chris would never do
Fucking
that.
shit.
we go.
You better stop it, Chris Hilton.
Chris would never do that. Come on.
Check server audits. Check fucking audit logs.
Okay, here we go.
May we continue for the future of Yellowstone, please? Thank you.
Okay. Governor English, you have gone through a number of pretty controversial, to say the least, events as your time as governor. I want to start with the so-called quote-unquote insurrection of your time as governor, led by former President Reason. In your opinion, how was that handled by your office? Why did someone die at the hand of your guard, of your state's guard? And what can you do to safeguard and assure the people of your state that this kind of chaotic politics won't continue to happen under another term of your leadership?
This riot, or this insurrection, whatever you may want to call it, began because of a recall that I beat, and conservative politicians called the election rigged. They called it rigged. So people came to the Capitol and they protested. Unfortunately, without my order, an insubordinate general did not keep his guard under control, and someone died, and that was very unfortunate. And our office ensured that those people who died did not die because they had to die. That general was fired and arrested for insubordination. And one thing we're going to continue, and I promise this to the Yellowstonian people, is that we're going to uphold democracy in Yellowstone, and we're going to ensure that the people are safe from future attacks. And we're going to ensure that people know that they can trust our government, because I, as governor, am here for them. I am working for them, and I will continue to work for them.
So just one follow-up on that, and then I'm going to open it up to Mr. Drake for a response. As governor, you are the de facto commander-in-chief of the state's guard.
Yes.
What about the guard's policy, the state guard's policy, allowed a general the power to issue this order without a superior officer knowing?
Ooh, someone's in trouble.
What allowed that was nothing allows them to do it. What they did was they broke the law, and they were arrested for it. I did not give any orders for them to take arms against the protests at the time. Let me finish, sir. I did not order them to take any arms, nor did I order them to do anything that was against the law. That general was arrested for insubordination, and he will be charged in the courts for his crimes.
I know I said one more follow-up. I'm just going to ask a third follow-up. What policies are you planning on putting in place in a second term if you were elected to safeguard from the power being abused by generals?
We're going to put into a policy that a general who disobeys the order from the governor, who disobeys the orders of his superior officers, anyone who disobeys the superior officer will be arrested for insubordination. If they commit a crime while in office, they're going to be arrested and they're going to be charged in the courts for crimes that they could have committed or did commit. And so
Alright, I
we're
have
going to
a follow-up
impose, we're
question
going
to
to,
that.
can I finish? We're going to impose a policy that will ensure, that these generals receive punishment for any insubordination that they may do. And we're going to ensure that
Thank you.
this incident does not happen again.
Thank you. Senator Drake, can you... I'll give you some time to respond.
I have
Yes.
a question. I have a follow-up before.
Hold on.
Before that.
So I'm going to let Senator Drake respond before we ask.
Yeah, if I could just respond really quickly. Sorry,
All
Richard.
right.
Yeah. I mean, the simple answer to your question, Wheeler, is incompetence. This governor has shown time and time again that he has the competence of a rotten banana, and it's sad that every time that he miscalls or doesn't make a call or is just plain incompetent, the people of Yellowstone get the short end of the stick. This is not the first time that someone has died because of his bad calls. Look, we all know the election was not rigged. Plain and simple. I said this privately to Mr. English. I said this publicly on Twitter. I said this to even the one perpetuating this lie or this belief, I guess. We all know that it was not rigged. All our governor had to do was uphold the law. All he had to do was actually do something. And I mean, he's talking about laws now. He's talking about laws he's going to implement. Plain and simple, all we have to implement is a constitution. So many of these things can be ironed out. It's pretty simple. We don't have one. Our state, our Commonwealth still does not have one after 3 weeks? He claimed, 2 days. It's been 2 days and you're calling a recall election. And look at where we are, and we still have no progress. The incompetence. I mean, the one word to describe this government: incompetence.
So follow up for you, Senator Drake. What would you define as? And then I will let you guys. I'll let you guys tussle. Don't worry. That this will be a part of it. But I want to follow up. What would you define as incompetence?
I mean, incompetence. Plain and simple, incompetence is, just the inability to do something successfully.
Okay.
That's a textbook definition.
Well, and I guess sort of what I'm trying to get at in that question is, do you truly think it's incompetence on the part of Governor English, or are you using that for political means and you just simply disagree with how he's handled himself as governor?
No, I truly believe that. I hate to bring this up because so many lives were lost, but you look at the call that he made when it came to the Air Canada flight. That is the textbook definition. Inability to do something successfully. Rather than waiting for all the details, he made a swift call just so he could say, I made the call. And then you have so many...
Well, before I give it up to Governor English again, what would you have done differently in the situation in which you had a hijacked flight? Hold on, let me finish the question. In a situation in which you had a hijacked flight in the air with terrorists in control of the flight and people on that flight, what would your response to that situation be?
Look, there's no right or wrong response. I am not saying that I have the perfect answer, but I'm saying he made the call too soon.
Governor English?
Right, whoever the fuck is abusing their powers is going to get fucking smited. If you read my name, I'm the affiliate of the NRPA, also known as Shitty Shipbuilding Company. So whoever's abusing will face the wrath of Toodles.
Okay.
Now, let me just check audit logs and see again.
Is he...
Nope. I believe he left on his own. And
Okay.
he's back.
back.
And he's back. Hey, Shaun English,
Horrible
can you stop
Wi-Fi.
leaving? We're trying to have a debate.
Even his Wi-Fi is incompetent. It's pretty sad, actually.
Well, let him on
No,
the stage.
currently we're hijacking his
Let him on the
Wi-Fi. The
stage.
Republican Congressional Committee is currently probing his
Let
Wi-Fi.
him on the stage.
Let him on the stage.
Governor English, you may respond.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. I would like to just first say that the Air Canada Flight 4731 being shot down was based off evidence, or I'm sorry, was based off what I was being told by the Air Force, the Air National Guard of Yellowstone. They informed me that the plane was irresponsive, not following orders to land, and the governor and the senator says that we made that call too early. May I remind you that we made that call 30 seconds before a disaster could have happened. If we did not make that call, if I did not make that call, and that plane was hijacked, there would have been thousands of more deaths. And I would like to just remind the senator that there was a terrorist on board that plane that attempted to hijack that plane. The unfortunate thing is, those terrorists were apprehended right as the plane got shot down, and it's just very sad. And I haven't called it anything but that. I have not called it anything but that.
Senator, respect
let me
his
finish.
time.
Senator
Let me
Drake.
finish. Senator, let me
Senator
finish.
Drake, you will respect his
Senator,
time.
let me finish. Thank you. And I'm completely heartbroken that innocent people had to die, but the senator does not understand the situation that I was made, and the FFA even said itself that I made took the right course of action to prevent a possible attack. And Senator, you would have made the same decision. I know you would have, Senator, because you care about Yellowstone just as much as I do, Senator. And Senator, you know just as much as I know that there was a possible attack on its way. Thank you.
Senator Drake.
Yes, Mr. Governor, I just don't understand how you can say in the same breath it was seconds away from disaster, it was seconds away from thousands of lives being taken away, while also saying that they were apprehended. That does not make sense. If the three men were apprehended, clearly the situation could have, if you had just slowed down and stopped trying to make yourself the big guy in the situation, trying to take credit for stopping the bad guys, if you had just taken a few seconds, thought about the American people, thought about the Yellowstone people that were on board that flight, this could have been avoided.
With all due respect, as the person who ran that event, the plane literally had no communications equipment on board, and literally he was doing everything he could. Just saying, as the event's head.
Well, thank you for
Thank
that
you.
establishment of fact, Governor of English.
Mr. Willard, thank you. See, the senator probably didn't read the FFA report, and I would like to just say something that was in the call between Air Force
Correction,
pilots that I had.
FAA.
No, I'm talking about the call I had with Air Force pilots. Thank you. When I was speaking with the captain, he told me we were 30 seconds away from entering a position where there was a potential disaster on its way. I ordered that plane to land. I ordered the Air Force to take every precaution to get that plane to land, and the plane did not land. And again, I say it with deepest sympathy to the families. I wish the course of action that happened didn't have to happen. But Senator, what happened was in the defense of Yellowstone from a possible attack, Senator.
Yeah.
And all the information pointed to a possible terrorist attack. So, Senator, you would have made the same decision. I've talked to other governors; they would have made the same decision. The decision I made was in the defense of Yellowstone, and if I had the same information with adding more, I know you would have made the same decision.
Governor,
Thank you. Hold on. Thank you. I'm gonna ask you.
Wait, if I could just,
I'm gonna ask you a question, Drake.
All of you calm
Really
down.
quick,
I'm just gonna bring up something. I'm going to
No,
bring.
I'm done with it.
Hey,
I'm done with it now.
Mr. Drake, I'm gonna be bringing back my time. Okay. According to the Federal Aviation Administration, on May 22nd, 2022, AD. After a clear investigation of all parties involved, the FAA-CARS Joint Committee has come to a conclusion. From a survivor account, 3 men on the plane got up and tried to take control of the plane. They violently tried to break into the cockpit. One was able to break in and cause damage to onboard communication equipment. Air marshals were able to apprehend the 3 men, and they assessed the situation. There was no effective way for the plane to communicate by traditional means. The actions taken by Governor English were by the book and were standard. We believe that he took the best course of action using the limited information he was given and advice from the United States Air Force. We can find that Governor English was acting reckless in his actions, but executed his duties as governor. We find Shaun English of Yellowstone not guilty.
Okay, thank you for the establishment of fact. Senator
Yeah,
Drake.
if I
I was thinking.
We were paid $35 million. Joking.
Senator Drake.
if I could just
So,
quickly,
hold on, I'm gonna ask you a question, and then you can respond to the question. But this will, and I'm sure this will pertain to what you have to say.
okay.
As we've established that fact, could you concede that maybe you're using this a little bit more enthusiastically than you would be because it is an election?
That's just not true. That's just not true. I didn't use it when it happened because when it happened, we were just going into the recall election. That's just not true. This is the reason that it's being used right now because it's been weeks. It's been weeks, Senator Wheeler, and the governor hasn't visited any family members. The governor has not spoken on the phone with any of them. You know who has? I have. I've called every household that I can find. I have spoken to all those that
No,
I
you
can.
have not.
If I may, this plane was Canada, right? This plane was
Okay,
from
I'm
Hold
going
on,
to
Canada.
tell
hold
all
on.
of you
Senator
this. I'm
Drake.
going to establish this
Hold
fact.
on.
If any of you would like to make up anything about this event, and when you didn't even contact me,
Yeah,
who was
we
representing
will
everyone,
have fact
you better
checkers
not,
for
because
sure.
I'm just going to say this. If you
Yes.
fucking lie like that again,
hold
I'm
on.
going to lay the book
They
on you, and
understand
I'm
that,
going
I
to
think.
do so much damage.
They understand. Well, we're
Don't
gonna.
bully my little bitch English.
They understand. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, hold on. Okay. All right. Thank you. We're gonna move on from this portion of the debate. I think everything that has needed to been said about Governor English's record has been said. We're gonna move on to Senator Drake, your record. Now, I want to ask you this question originally. I mean, what are you running on as your record? What have you accomplished in your time as the United States Senator? You've spent, as I understand it, 3 terms in the United States Senate, so 12 weeks in total. You're going on your 3rd term here and running for gubernatorial election. You've served as president pro tempore almost your entire time in the Senate, other than this term. So what accomplishments can you point to for the people of Yellowstone and for the American people that you are running on in this election?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I gave the states. It was in my federal heartbeat bill where we were able to overturn the egregious call of Roe v. Wade, which handed over back to states their vote to make that decision for themselves. Otherwise, I have done well in organizing the Senate. I have seen competent leadership rise up in the Senate. I've seen as bills. I've worked with the other chamber. I've done well to keep that Senate chamber active, keep people intrigued, keep the ball rolling. I just have looked back at my state and the state of my Commonwealth, and I have to do something to keep the ball rolling.
Okay, follow up on that.
Yeah.
You say that you have kept activity rolling in the United States Senate, but is it not the case that in your time as president pro tempore, the Senate passed, I think, a total of 3 pieces of legislation, never held a session, and as I understand it was.
That's not.
As I understand it,
someone's in
and
trouble.
I also understand it was the community was left as organized as it was under the previous leadership.
That's just not true. We've held multiple sessions. My first term as PPT, my second term, third term got real crazy. That's when things sort of died down. And fourth term, we started to pick up. Fifth term, also, things sort of died down. But that's just not true. We've had multiple Senate sessions on text, multiple in voice chat. We haven't had much in the recent terms, but in the early days, it was a norm.
Well, just to establish the fact of the matter, and other member of the Rules Committee, the other longest serving member of the United States Senate, Senator Johnson, will confirm this with me. I don't believe that is the case, and I do believe that there has not been a for a long time. Governor English.
Any attempt
Governor
at
English.
more lying will result in the book
May I
being
get a
thrown at you.
Governor
This is not lying.
Governor English.
Well, I like to say that I would like to thank Mr. Wheeler for actually getting this inactive again. Can we give him a round of applause there? What the record is, Yellowstone was in it. May I say it? It was left behind conservative leadership, and Mr. Drake did barely anything to help Yellowstone while he was in the Senate, from my understanding. And this is coming from someone who has a lot of respect for Mr. Drake. I don't know if he has the same amount of respect for me, but I have respect for him. But on my term, I believe we have accomplished more in my term than they did it and than he did in his 4 terms in the Senate, senators, people, America. So I love seeing the senator attack my track record. Let me finish. I love seeing the senator attack my track record when his record doesn't even compare to mine.
Senator Drake.
I'd just like to know, what is your track record, Governor English, other than
In Yellowstone under control.
Other
than gay flags and missed calls? I'm not quite sure how to describe your term. I mean, there's good that came out of.
Hey Drake, you better watch your words because I'll make the next event in favor for joking.
Okay, true.
We've had a constitution be shot down by the Supreme Court. We've had you caught changing the Constitution after you've already signed it. We've had you signing a Constitution that hasn't been passed by a legislature. We've had you pretending as though we have a legislature when you haven't appointed anyone. You don't even have a cabinet yet. What is your record exactly?
Thank you, Senator Drake. And now I'm going to ask you a follow-up on your record.
Well, I'd like the governor to answer.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
Governor English is not entitled to answer the question.
And also, I'm the
one.
one.
What was his question? I'll answer his question.
I'll ask the question. I'll ask the question in the follow-up. I do just want to ask this question, Senator Drake. In your response to what was your accomplishments in the Senate, you stated that the only bill that you had stated in those accomplishments was the heartbeat bill, which overturned Roe v. versus Wade, something which ended up being done by the Supreme Court nationally. So what are your concrete legislative accomplishments that you can point to that have benefited the people of Yellowstone?
Okay. Quite clearly, I've sponsored bills that have helped the United States people. I am a United States Senator, and I would just like for the governor to answer the question, what has he accomplished? He can't answer. She can't say that question.
May I answer his question? Because I didn't hear his question the first time.
He failed our state.
Go ahead.
May I answer his question? Thank you. What have I done? Well, I've done more than the senator. Let's see. Our state is the first state in the AEC, America, to make progress into cleaning up the homeless crisis within our state by providing resources to homeless Americans and homeless Yellowstonians. Our state is the first state to provide resource officers and require resource officers in each school to ensure the law is upheld and that there's a protection for our students. And yes, I put up a couple gay flags. You know why? Because our state believes in the rights of each and every single American.
Fact
but
check,
you don't
Colorado
have to,
was the first state to do that.
I'm sorry, but I mean in AEC. Yellowstone, thank you. Yellowstone is the first Commonwealth. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's the first Commonwealth to make progress and to ensure that the church is separate from state. Now, I believe that the religion should be kept out from the government and out of people's personal lives, but not the government should also stay out of the church. But the government and Yellowstone itself is withholding the stand that the church is separate from the state and the state is separate from the church. And as long as I'm governor, we're going to continue ensuring the rights of everyone to withhold a gun, which is their Second Amendment right, and that gay Americans Americans can go to school and not be harassed by their fellow students, harassed by the school district, harassed by the government, harassed by the police force. We are going to ensure that people's rights are protected, Senator. And Senator, the senator decides that I have no track record to back me up. Sir, I've been governor for 1 term and I've already accomplished more than you have ever done in the Senate. So thank you,
Senator
thank
Drake,
you
and I
for
also,
attacking me, Senator.
Senator Drake,
Thank you for
I
attacking
also
me
just
in
want,
rebuttal.
thank you, Senator Governor English. I just want to hone in on what my original question was, because you're a politician at heart. I like it. I mean, you pivoted, but I do want to hone in. What are the concrete legislative accomplishments that you have done other than the heartbeat bill, which was essentially nullified by the Supreme Court overturning Roe versus Wade?
Yeah, I just think the rambling of the governor is pretty.
Senator Drake.
Answer the question without bringing me up? Can we just have that happen?
Senator Drake, I asked you a pretty
Very telling. What have I done? I have done. I've explained very
Nothing.
clearly what I've done to the American people. It has trickled down to the Yellowstonian people.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there, Senator Drake. If you're going to continue, if you're going to continue to pivot,
Okay,
I'll
Mr.
just hold
Drake.
on. I'm just actually going to move on to it. The next round of questioning. If Senator
Yeah,
Drake
this is going nowhere besides one.
Senator Drake chose to continue to pivot. No, yeah, I don't think that requires a rebuttal. Okay, candidates.
May I say something?
No. I don't think that requires a rebuttal. I think.
I respect that.
No more rebuttals on this fucking topic.
Okay,
we have to say it again?
Okay.
Let's
Moving on to policy. What would you say is the vision of your campaign? Why are you running for governor? What is your purpose in running for governor? What do you hope to accomplish in a second term, Governor English?
Thank you. What I hope to accomplish in a second term is what we're accomplishing now. When I look at my children, when I look at my grandchildren in the future, when I look at Yellowstonians' children, I see
Nothing.
beautiful
You killed
children
them all.
who are gonna get a good education that's gonna put them into college and is gonna allow them to be successful. They're gonna get to the workforce. They're gonna build wealth. They're gonna boost the economy of Yellowstone. And then when I'm out of the governor's office, one of them is gonna replace me as governor, and one of them is gonna make our state better than it was when I left. You know why? Because we're not gonna be able to accomplish everything. That's clear. We're gonna have someone fight in the Supreme Court. We're gonna have someone fight it in the courts. We're gonna have someone fight it in the state legislature. We're gonna have someone fight it everywhere. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave the state way better than the way I got it when I first inherited, because we had 2 governors before me who did nothing to help Yellowstone. May I say, nothing to help Yellowstone. They talked and they talked and they talked, but they did nothing to help Yellowstone. My term is being different because we are actually accomplishing things. And the senator attacked me for having no state constitution, but if you look at Commonwealth announcements, after that got repealed, I had a state legislator approve it, and now we have a constitution, and I provided term limits, consecutive term limits, and we are providing way more than past conservative governors have done. And I'm doing way more than current senators done. And I want to continue the vision that I am trying to create, which is a better Yellowstone where we have jobs, we have affordable living, we have good healthcare, we have beautiful education, and we have beautiful children who are going to build our state better.
Okay, Senator Drake, same question to you. What is the vision that you bring to this state? Why are you running for governor? Not just to oppose, but what is the vision that you bring to this state? And
Yeah, definitely. I think this campaign is very different to the last campaign, which was a recall election, in that I'm honing in, I'm zeroing in on what I'm going to accomplish. First and foremost, our number one industries are agriculture, forestry, fishing. I'm going to pump in to those industries, create jobs in our Commonwealth for that sector. I'm going to continue to support our border control, protect our borders as we border other countries, and I will continue to protect the rights, freedom of speech, the Second Amendment rights, which I know Governor English has already stated that he agrees with, of the people of our state. If I can, I just don't know. Maybe I'm living in a different Commonwealth. I'm not sure what legislator the governor's talking about. But
I have a follow-up question to that.
We have a legislator. I don't think he's we have a state legislator.
who is it?
Who is it?
Yellowstone
I
has
can't
a state
pronounce his last
legislature
name.
when there's Christmas 2 times a year. I have a follow-up question to when Drake said something. Okay, Mr. Drake, I believe you just said that you're going to support the First Amendment. Is that correct?
The Second Amendment. But yeah, I'll support the First
Okay.
He won't
Amendment.
support the
So
first
if you're not if you're so-called supporting the First Amendment, people have said that there have been some highly homophobic remarks from you in the past and to this present day. And how does that tie into allowing people to express themselves under the First Amendment with you as governor, bringing in extremely hyper-homophobic policies?
Well, that's just not true. I myself am a gay. I mean, I love the
Okay,
gay,
welcome to the club.
quite frankly. So I one of my sons is gay. I believe in gay rights, whatever that means.
All right, I'm just gonna say, what that sounded like was you justifying yourself for saying the N-word because your friend Robert is black. So I'm just gonna say
Hold
that
on.
back.
I mean, I do have to say,
Can I get a
Donnie is
rebuttal?
also black, so.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Okay,
Alright, if he's
okay.
black, then we can move
No,
past
no,
this
no.
question. He's immune to all
He's immune.
forms of questions. He's
All right,
immune.
so
If I may.
Shaun English is quite frankly a racist.
it's so true.
Whoa.
I just like to
Doesn't
know
like
what
it, I'm racist. Just because I'm racist, my friends. Well, the governor is saying, I hope if he's elected that he will accomplish some of his visions, but I don't think he will because he didn't accomplish his visions when he was in the Senate. You know, support our border control border agents. Where's the support when you were in the Senate, sir? Support the Second Amendment. Where was the support in the Senate, sir? I just want to know, why didn't he do any of his vision when he was in the Senate? He could have at least done on a federal level his vision, but now, I mean, if he's going to come to the state level, he could do
I believe
that.
in states'
He
rights.
didn't do it in the federal level. You didn't do it in the Senate, sir.
Well, I believe in states' rights, Mr. Governor.
You believe in state rights, but I mean, you can believe in state rights. The border control agents are federally funded. They're funded by the federal government, Senator.
Governor
Yeah,
English,
that's
coming from someone who was a
law.
governor in the past, I'm just gonna say that the Senate is much more different from the governorship, so these questions are like
I'm aware, but he didn't accomplish his vision in the Senate. So how can we expect him to accomplish his vision in the governorship? And I don't think you will.
Since you know,
really just don't think you will.
what was my vision for the Senate?
What was your vision in the Senate? Well, I wasn't around when I was a young man, sir.
Okay, so
I was in high
thank you.
school when you were in the Senate, sir.
Thank you.
I was in high school when you were in the
Thank
Senate, sir.
In a child
And
split.
keep them.
In a child
I'm
split.
telling you this now. Your vision, well, you had to have had a vision. So did you accomplish it other than the heartbeat bill?
Yeah, I accomplished it.
You did not just run on an abortion, did you?
You can look back and see. What's the next
Did you
question?
just run on an abortion? That's the only
Moderators,
thing you ran on? Because I mean, hey, then you accomplished it.
Hey,
But I
okay.
thought that was the only thing you
I
ran
need
on.
you to stop.
respect his time.
Donnie Drake has the time.
My apologies.
I'm just
Okay. Kay!
That's what I hear from this debate. Y'all better fix it up, or that bot is gonna be playing the entire debate. Fix it up, because all I hear is blah
Okay.
blah blah blah.
All right.
blah, blah,
All right.
blah.
All right.
Frankly, there's no
Donnie,
way
go
we can
ahead,
hear
and
you.
then we're going on to the next question.
yeah. I just think it's really pretty weird that one of the moderators, Mr. Wheeler, has been helping English, quite frankly, and continuing to
Okay,
force.
I'm stopping that line of
No,
questioning right
no,
here,
no,
right now.
no,
Everyone's
he
gonna
has
stop.
not.
Everyone's
He
gonna
has
stop.
not.
Everyone's gonna stop,
Has
or you
not
will
yet
be server
asked
muted.
me- Has
will-
not yet.
I will server mute you.
What legislator there
I will
is?
server mute
What
you.
legislator there is?
will
I
s-
have not
hey,
heard you
I-
ask that question.
I
You
will-
have just
I'm
allowed
sorry.
I will
to
server
quiet.
mute you right
Yeah.
now.
You
I
kept
will
going.
server
You
mute you
kept
right
going on me, but I don't hear you.
I will server mute you right
Wheeler,
now.
you were fake news,
I
but
will server mute you right now. Stop it.
Senator,
Stop it. Stop it,
Mr.
you two.
Wheeler, I'm
Stop.
sorry.
Stop.
I'm
Stop.
laughing.
Stop.
I'm
Stop.
laughing, just like you.
Stop.
Just like you.
Mr. Drake, Mr. Drake, we will end this right now. We will end this right now. Stop the bot. Stop the bot.
Ask the question.
Okay, here we go. First of all, Mr. Drake, I spent the first 27 minutes of this debate on Governor English's record, and I gave you extensive time to criticize the entire record. Okay, the entire record. We have spent a total. We had spent a total of 11 minutes on your record. 5 of which have been, not even necessarily about the record. So, if you really want to say there's bias in this debate, it's bias towards you. Unintentional bias, nonetheless, but it's bias towards you. I've been biased towards you, and Mr. Drake, I don't want to hear it. This is not the 2020 debates. This is not a 3v2 debate. I'm being very fair to both sides. And I think anyone who'd see that would see that. You ask a very fair question, though, and I apologize for not asking the question. And I think it's a question that needs to be brought up, and I will ask it to Governor English. But since, like I said, I've spent 27 minutes on this topic, and I think the people of Yellowstone would like to hear more about your vision of the future. I will ask this question, and then there will not be a rebuttal time, especially since you've already mentioned it a couple of times. So, Governor English, and I'll make this an even bigger and better question than what Mr. Drake was asking.
All right, I'll hear it.
Why would you, as governor, not appoint a legislature, and why?
There is a legislature.
Why would you, as governor, not make a constitution, and then why should the people of Yellowstone trust you in making a constitution when your first attempt was struck down by the Supreme Court?
The first attempt was struck down because there's a disagreement between myself and the Supreme Court. Because I believed that a constitution establishes a legislator. That was my opinion, whether it was wrong or not. But now we do have a constitution that was approved by a state legislator. We have a state legislator. It's Legislator Anderson, and I'm attempting to fill in the seats without appointing some, radicals who are possibly racist. But we have a constitution and we have a legislator, and I don't know what world Mr. Drake is living in, but we do have a constitution in Yellowstone and a legislator. And I am the 3rd governor of Yellowstone, and I'm sadly the first governor to have made one. There should have been one on the first governor, but the first governor, a Republican, might I remind you, did not have a legislator.
Richards moment.
I did not have a constitution.
Okay, so I'm.
But I don't know what world Mr. Drake lives in, but I live in reality.
Okay. Well, okay. Now that that's handled, and I will ask just as a
is it handled though? Is it handled though?
It's handled. Pretty sure it's handled.
So
we've had extensive time. I don't know why you're interrupting me, Mr. Drake. You're very good in the Senate. You're a very good boy in the Senate. I mean, this is unlike you.
Not your boy.
Unlike your behavior. Oh well, I think the Senate calls tell a different story, but nonetheless, I'm gonna ask. It's very manly of you to try and interrupt me. Very Trump-like, but I appreciate that. But I'm gonna have to ask you to stop it, Mr. Richards. I ask you to fact check whether or not they have a constitution. Okay, moving on.
All right, we'll be searching for their constitution currently.
Moving on. All right, moving on.
I'll provide the screenshots.
Moving on. One of the more contentious issues in this country right now is the issue of Israel-Palestine. And Senator Drake, you have been a very open and ardent critic of the Israeli state, a supporter of Palestinian rights to exist in Gaza. We won't accept Zionism in this call. And I have to ask you, unless it's coming from one of the candidates, and I have to ask you, what brings you to support Israel? What brings you to Kool-Aid's it? As soon as I mention Israel, Kool-Aid shows up. That's not good. Anyway, what brings you to support?
That's exactly why I joined. By the way.
I know. What brings you to support the Palestinian people in this conflict?
Before we ask that
and
question,
regard
fact check
and
alert.
and
I
re-
have a fact check alert. There is a Constitution of the State of Yellowstone that was approved by the Yellowstone Constitutional Convention, signed on May 21st, 2022 at 9:42 p.m.
Okay.
Pacific Standard Time, also known as you have a Constitution. Take that, Dickie.
Okay,
Eh.
thank you very much.
Hold on,
Thank you
hold
very
on,
much.
hold on.
I'll
Hold
let
on.
okay. Thank you for the fact check. I'm going to open up the floor for the fact check. Both of you will each get a response, starting with Senator Drake.
Yeah. Okay. This is just hilarious. So you said May 21st?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, that. Hold on.
Now what?
Hold on.
Hold on.
Some
hold
dead
on.
air here.
Yes. He's
All right,
unprepared.
Governor English, you may respond to the fact check.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I really wanted to respond to whatever Mr. was gonna say, but I guess I'll respond to the fact check. It just proves that Mr. Drake's living in his own world. I mean, Fairyland.
Whoever has an
Have a
echo
concept.
better turn that off.
We have a state. It's Drake. We have a state legislator. So Mr. Drake's just mistaken. I don't know how long he's been in his basement. I don't even know if he's from our reality. He could or could not be. I don't know. But the senator's wrong. He's been fact checked for what is it, the second or third time?
Here we
So
go.
I think it's time Mr. Drake wakes up.
The fact checkers. Here we go.
Okay.
The fact checkers have been very integral, nice, and very honest people throughout this.
Okay, Senator Drake.
Here we go. I'm the liar, right? Okay. On May 22nd, you appointed Anderson, who you're saying is your state legislator, to
Yes, sir.
Yellowstone Supreme Court.
And he resigned.
Okay. So was this not the same constitution that was then nullified by the Supreme Court?
I'm sorry. The question is, what? It's the same constitution, yes, because the old constitution was not disqualified for breaking any laws. It was disqualified because a legislator didn't approve it. So it just got approved by a legislator. I don't know what Mr. Drake's trying to pull out of that, but it was approved by a legislator. I would like to remind everyone that the state legislator of Yellowstone approved it. I mean, the fact checkers fact check that too for the third or fourth time.
I'll admit when
Can we move on because I mean we're just repeating ourselves at this point.
Okay, thank you. Now moving on to the question again, Senator Drake, what brings you to support the Palestinian people over the nation of Israel, and how do you justify that?
I think the phrasing of that question is just wrong. Once again, Wheeler.
Okay. Well, we get our funding. We get our funding from people.
So much in the Senate.
Hey.
So much in the Senate.
I'd just like to know that this is funded by the Democratic Party of Vermont. So,
So true. But quite clearly, I mean, my support is in one or the other. I support freedom. I am a proud, freedom-loving American, and I believe that freedom should be upheld. I don't believe that it's America's job to get involved in this business. Obviously, we were involved in the creation of this horrible state. I mean, of Israel, and we are still sending aid and doing what we can to stifle the Palestinian people. I just believe that it's time that America just minds our own business for once.
I have a statement from the Prime Minister of Israel directed at Mr. Drake. Donnie Drake hoa fucking cock. It stands for Donnie Drake is a fucking cock.
So, Mr. Drake, I have to ask you as a follow-up, would you say that would you vote for military aid to Israel?
Here we go, right? Would I vote for military aid to Israel? No. No. Recently, we had a situation in the Senate where it was brought to unanimous consent, and I was the one dissenter who opposed, but the Senate continued, and it was passed with so-called unanimous consent. But I didn't consent, so I don't know what that means. Anyway, no, to answer.
I have a follow-up question.
Yes, sir.
So, as we've seen, let me just pull up the events page that I beautifully wrote. But from events, we can hear that 25 Americans from California were kidnapped by Hamas forces, who are a very, very known terrorist group who support Palestinian independence, and they ransomed them for $1 million. And they kidnapped 10 men, 3 children, and 12 women, and they said they were not scared of killing them. That's the first thing. How can you justify a group that now kidnapped Americans and were threatening to murder children? Secondly, there were reports that Hamas also fired 200 rockets into the West Bank and
Hold on.
So how can you
I
justify
also
the Palestinians?
that's okay. I actually.
Because
I actually, Senator Drake, don't want you to answer that question. I also I don't like the way that question was formed. Senator Governor English, what is your opinion on the Israeli-Palestine crisis? You've been pretty.
Can you even spell Palestine? Can you spell Palestine, Governor?
Okay, Senator Drake.
I support people's individual rights.
Well,
Palestine.
Governor English, what does that mean? You support people's individual rights. I'm talking about the foreign the foreign crisis that is going on and has been going on for decades now between the Israeli government and the Palestinian people. So, what is your opinion on that crisis? Where do you stand on that divide? I mean, there is really no middle ground here on this issue, which is why it gets so contentious. So, where do you stand on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict?
Well, I'm not in the federal government, so I know what I say will have most of the impact. I personally support the individual rights, the human rights, and stand opposed to anyone who violates the human rights of any person who was born, who's alive, who's functioning. I support the Israeli government's right to have a claim, but I believe that the forced removal of Palestinians is wrong, is unjust, and I believe the United States government should mind its own business and stop funding other countries. Well, we have our own crises at home where we have Americans starving on the streets and Americans dying on the side of the road, Americans who do not have a home, a warm meal every day. As long as that's happening, the United States government should not fund any foreign government until we fix the issues here, is my opinion. So I personally...
Okay, I'm going to ask a follow-up question. I'm going to stop you from talking because it sounds like you're pushing something that is very un-American. I'm just going to stop you from talking, and I'm also going to ask a follow-up. I'm going to ask a follow-up question, and please answer this very well, because I believe Donnie Drake could get an attack off of this, but what you've just said is describing this. However, there have been known to the reason you're sending money there is to protect the American citizens there. So, in response, what would you do, or what is your opinion about the American citizens in Israel currently who choose to live there?
If they're not citizens of Israel, they should come home and get their jobs here. And if it comes to protection of American citizens,
okay, you're clueless. I want to stop you from talking.
The United States government. Can I finish? Can I answer this question, Mr. Wheeler?
Yes, answer.
Or can is he retracting this question?
Answer the question.
Thank you. I do not believe the American taxpayers, as long as there's people dying here, should be funding other governments' ability to militarize itself.
But you're funding them.
So as long as Americans are on the road, our should be used on American citizens, and people in those countries are American citizens. They should be protected by the American government. But should we be funding other people's wars? And I'm not saying this directly towards Israel, but should we be funding any other country's wars? No. We should be using American taxpayer money on American citizens, not random nations that are waging war against other countries.
Okay.
That's the answer.
I think both of you lost your funding from APAC, but nonetheless.
Oh, they've lost their funding from a lot of people.
Moving on to
I
our
don't-
final
I
issue.
don't
Libertarian is gonna
accept
have a lot
I
of
don't
money.
accept. I don't accept outside donors. I'm accepting everything.
Oh, stop the cap. I'm funded by the American people.
Stop a lot.
Okay, stop.
I'm
Actually,
funded by
Donnie
Alright.
Drake.
people.
Donnie
I'm
Drake
poor.
is
This is
actually
chaotic.
funded
Stop
by
it.
Donnie Drake is funded by a Palestinian government.
Stop.
So true, actually.
Stop it.
He's
Stop it.
funded by
True
the
fact.
CCP.
Okay. Moving on to a more, one of the more important issues of our time.
By the way, it's Dickie.
Moving on to one of the more important issues of our time.
Don't speak over Robert Wheeler. Don't speak over.
So true,
Papa.
so true. One of the more important issues of our time, the looming climate disruption that we're going to be
Yay.
facing. Senator Drake, you've been in politics a long time. What's your opinion on climate disruption, and what have you, as a senator, done to mitigate or deal with some of the effects that we'll be facing as a result of that disruption?
Sorry, you said climate disruption?
Climate change, global warming, it's called a whole lot of things. What it is climate disruption, the disruption of the climate.
Yeah, I've heard of it, I think. Quite frankly, scientists agree about this so-called, what's it called? What did you say?
Climate disruption.
Climate disruption. Is that what they're calling it now? I thought it was
It's what I call it. It's what I call it. What they're calling it is climate change.
Climate change. Okay. So it's not global warming anymore.
It's been climate disruption to me and anyone who's spoken clearly
I'm gonna
about
be
the
honest.
issue since 1980.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna be honest.
Whatever Robbie says, Robbie means it. Shut the
Okay,
fuck
I'm just
up
asking.
and listen.
Look, I'm just asking the questions for the American people. We want to know.
I think the American people know
don't deserve
exactly what I'm
anything.
talking about. I think
They don't
We
deserve
want,
it.
we want
Yeah,
to
you're- I'm gonna ask you the question again if you're gonna continue to pivot. What are you going to do?
Okay, I'm not pivoting. Let me finish. Climate warming or
No
whatever.
plan.
Pivot.
Quite frankly, you're right, English. I'll be honest on this one. I do not have a plan. Because here's the thing. I do not have all the information. I do not have all the facts. Well, how is this a pivot? I'm answering the question. I don't have a plan. Isn't that what you want me to say? Because
Okay, I'll stop you right. Maybe I'll ask.
I'll answer the question. 'cause he
Hold
doesn't
on,
answer.
hold on.
Maybe
Maybe I'll answer. Maybe I'll ask a more specific question. Senator Drake,
No, I-
what would you do as governor if you faced a situation in which, you're governor of the largest coastline in the country? What would you do as governor if you had a situation? If you had a situation in
I don't have
which,
anything.
if you had a situation, oh, excuse me, if you had a situation in which Alaska, Washington, Oregon, and California were facing floods of great proportion, what would you do if you had a situation in which, while at the same time they're facing those floods on the coastline, you have droughts of unseen proportion, crop failure in the largest
This sounds
state,
like a John Hunt Richards event, quite frankly.
start in the largest state in the country. What would you do at that moment? Because that's what the International Panel on Climate Change, even though it's climate disruption, calls or says is going to
Fake
happen
news.
in the next 10 years if we don't seriously deal with these issues. So you say you don't have a plan to deal with what the IPCC says is about to happen?
No, okay. Is the question done? Okay. I don't want to talk over you. You know, I have a lot of respect for you, Mr. Wheeler. Look, at this point, I've made it pretty clear. I don't know all the information on this issue. It's never been something that I've paid close attention to. As governor, I will implement a Secretary of Agriculture that will look closely into these things. You know, as you all know, we have a large forest in our Commonwealth, specifically in states like Nevada and California. So I will do what I can to look into these things, but at this point, I don't have an answer for that question.
I believe we have an audience question from Senator Robert J. Reason for Shaun English.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. We'll ask that question afterwards, but I'm gonna ask.
We will let him up here. We will let him up here.
I'm gonna ask Senator.
I'm
gonna ask Governor English the question. I'm gonna ask Governor English the question about climate change, climate disruption. Excuse me, Governor English. Go ahead.
Failing at your own job.
Thank you.
Local
Let's
change.
not make Mr. Wheeler have a seizure on the stage.
Please.
Please. I'm very tired.
He's
As
having
governor,
a
we're
seizure.
going to invest in our solar energy, our hydropower, our wind. Our state has we're one of the biggest states in the country, and we have the resources to invest in renewable energy. And we're going to invest in our solar power, our wind power, our hydropower. We're going to build reusable energy up on the ground, and we are going to change the direction of our state, of our Commonwealth. We are going to create a tax deductive for corporations and businesses that switch from these toxic power sources, and we're going to, if they switch to renewable sources, then we're going to have a tax deductive for them, for anyone, small businesses, corporations, local fundraisers. Those things will get tax deductives. And our state as a whole is going to invest in reusable energy, my friends. Because I understand, I don't know if Mr. Drake does, but I understand
not
the future is not our future. We need to act on climate change. Otherwise, we're not going to have a future for Yellowstone. That's
climate disruption.
All right, this will be a quick yes or no.
Climate disruption, climate change.
This will be a quick yes or no question, and then we'll go on to Senator Reason's question. I'm very interested to hear what he has to say. Governor English, do you support nuclear energy?
Yes.
Senator Drake, do you
But we
support?
need to make sure that
Senator Drake, do you support nuclear energy?
He doesn't know what nuclear energy is. Quite frankly,
You didn't know what climate change was, so I mean,
Because
he doesn't know.
it's like climate disruption.
Obama is lying.
Scientists.
Scientists.
all right,
haven't said
Senator
this
Drake,
since
do you
1990s.
support
Obama.
nuclear energy? Do you support nuclear energy?
Can I get a word in? Please?
Can you just answer the question so we can move on, sir?
Can I get a word in?
Barack Hussein Obama.
Senator Drake, please answer the question. Yes or no?
Could you
Nuclear energy.
repeat the question? Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. Yes or no? Nuclear energy.
Quite frankly, my answer is yes.
It's a yes or no. Okay, thank you,
Question
Senator Reason.
about-
I want you to ask your question, Senator Reason.
It has come to my attention, Senator Reason just wanted to have his hand up.
No, I'll ask a question.
Okay.
This is a question to governors. What will you do to help solve the water crisis currently affecting the people of California?
Pass the Clean Water Act.
Pass the Clean Water Act.
Is this me? Is this for me?
It goes to Senator Drake first because Shaun English has left.
Yeah. I mean, quite frankly, this wasn't being whispered a second ago, but I've worked with Senator Wheeler passing the Clean Water Act. Is that what it's called? Is that what it's called?
Pass the Clean Water Act.
I'm actually a sponsor of that act and bill. So
Shaun English is not passing it.
Shaun English is the Supreme Court legislator. What is it? I don't know what it is. They haven't done anything. Once again, inaction, incompetence.
It appears Shaun English has left, and he does not want to pass the Clean
Bro, who
Water
keeps
Act.
removing me? Someone just
Governor English, what will you do to fix the water crisis? Okay.
Governor English, can you stop leaving the call, please? We're trying to
Bro.
have a debate.
Governor English, what would you do to fix the water?
Oh my god.
We're a good 3 minutes from when I was going to stop this debate, so I just want to answer this question. Okay.
I have
Governor English.
If the man can,
Go,
if the
go,
gentleman
Oh my Lord in heaven. All right.
Hey Venus, hey Venus and KSG, can you all
That's
stop?
enough. That's enough.
Chief
Governor
Justice
Drake.
John...
Governor Drake.
Governor English.
Governor English.
Thank you.
Governor English, what will you do to fix the water crisis in California?
Well, we're gonna encourage the Senate to pass the Clean Waters Act. Thank you.
No, you won't.
We're gonna encourage Congress to pass the Clean Waters Act.
Oh,
Presidential signature. Mr. Drake, I respect your time. I ask you respect my time.
Pass the Clean Water.
And we're gonna pass the Clean Water. We're gonna have the Senate pass the Clean Water Act. We're gonna encourage them to pass the Clean Water Act. And our state here in Yellowstone, we're gonna redo our infrastructure to ensure that there's great clean water for Yellowstonians across the Commonwealth. What we're gonna do is stuff that Mr. Drake will not do. It's true. He's all talk, no do. He's got some big dick energy, but he doesn't do anything.
Malden.
That's my answer. That's my answer.
Okay. Thank you both for this very, I'm not going to say informative, but spirit, very...
moving Shaun English into the fucking
Okay,
audience?
stop.
I'm gonna
Just
fucking
don't
throw
even
my
mention it.
fit.
Don't even mention it. Thank you very much for this very spirited debate. I'll give you both...
Wait, I have a question
No,
before we end.
no. It's not going to happen.
It will happen.
It's not going to happen. Senator Drake, you're first for closing statements. You're first for closing statements, Senator Drake.
Rob, I don't want to do this.
Senator Drake, you're first for closing statements.
Okay.
If you ever fucking remove me from the stage again, I'm gonna fucking smite you. Let me ask my question.
Okay.
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 So,
Okay.
on the topic of nuclear energy, there was an event some time ago called the nuclear power plant disaster of New Mexico, where they experienced a level 5 nuclear meltdown according to structural flaw designs, mainly. However, it was mainly believed that it was because of the failure to contain the nuclear fission and such as that. That's how it got caused. Because of the effects of this level 5 meltdown, around 10,000 people in New Mexico died from radiation, on top of the 500 people who were working there when it blew up. So, this is a serious question. Knowing the risks of nuclear power and knowing the risks of just operating a nuclear power plant in general, would you still continue to the use of nuclear power, even though there is a major risk and that it is proven bad for New Mexico specifically in the past?
Who's this question directed to?
It's for both of you. Governor English will answer first.
Thank you. Well, if it's a structural flaw, we need to make sure that these structures are built correctly and safely. And if they're not built correctly and safely, they will be shut down. But nuclear energy does work. We see it on our aircraft carriers, sir. They work on our aircraft carriers, and they'll work as a power source if we take the correct precautions to ensure it's safe. So yes, we will invest in
Mr.
nuclear
Drake,
energy.
you may now answer the question.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember correctly, and I'll refresh your memory, I did sort of hesitate when this question was posed as a yes or no question. This is not the sort of question that can be answered with a simple yes or no. Support for this is something that has to be done carefully and competently. Quite frankly, I don't think English can do that. But what we need in this sort of getting into nuclear energy is ensuring that people that reside, ensuring that this sort of plant is away from residential areas, away from where many people will be settled, so to avoid this sort of incident. My heart goes out to the families that were involved in this tragedy.
Yes, the families of DES. Thank you. Anyways, with
But who
that,
cares?
I'd
Who
like.
cares? Come
Okay,
on, who
thank
cares?
you. Thank
With
you,
that,
everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Hey, 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 hey,
Thank
hey,
you,
hey,
everyone.
hey,
With that, I'm gonna thank John Richards for his.
Stop.
I'm gonna thank John Richards for his
Stop.
spirited moderating and his thoughtful fact checking, and I will ask Senator Drake to go first.
Fucking silence me again, and I will bring down the law.
And I will ask.
On this. Okay, that wasn't me. That was not me who just.
And I will ask Senator Drake to speak first. Senator Drake,
Okay.
you may do your concluding speech. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. I would just like to thank.
Sorry, actually, I apologize, Senator Drake. You went first in the opening statement.
Yeah.
Governor English, you may go first.
Thank you. I want to thank Mr. Richards and Mr. Wheeler for again moderating this.
You're not welcome.
Interesting debate. I want to thank them both, even though that won't say welcome. But what we've seen, what the Yellowstonian people have seen, is that Mr. Drake has no record, no plan. It's just all talk. And his plan will not work for Yellowstone because it doesn't work in the Senate. Now, if Mr. Drake's elected, I'll accept the results because I respect democracy. I respect democracy. We're not going to call the election rigged like Mr. Reason did. And that took a while for Mr. Drake to condemn it. But the vision is clear that I laid out in this campaign, in this debate. I am ensuring the American people, the Yellowstonian people, that we're going to create a future that lasts a lifetime, that is beautiful, and that I will be proud to hand on to my successor once my second term is finished. I want to thank Mr. Drake for again being here, even though he had some very rude interruptions every once in a while. But thank you, Mr. Drake. Thank you, Mr. Wheeler. And thank you, Mr. Richards, for being here. Thank you to the American people for at least giving me one term. Let's make it two. And let's continue this vision.
Okay, thank you, Governor English. Senator Drake, your closing statement.
Yeah, okay. I'd just like to thank you guys again, especially Richards, for his unbiased moderating.
You're so welcome, Dickie Drake.
Okay, well, we love it.
We love it. We love it so much.
It's disheartening that in his closing statement, English took the time to attack me. He's showing. He still, to this day, has no plan.
Bye.
On the other hand, we have. If I could, Mr. English, I'm speaking.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking.
I will continue. I will begin in our state to pump directly into our agriculture sector. I'll continue to rebuild and reestablish our forests. And then the big announcement that I had, that I spoke to Miss Jashadra in regards to her husband, Daquan Jackson. Daquan Jackson. That was sadly killed in the plane.
Unfortunately.
Yes, very unfortunate. Not your fault at all, Shaun English. I will not give you fault on that. Was this on day one of my term as governor? I will be implementing a relief package to all households that lost a loved one, all households of Yellowstone that lost a loved one to that attack. Our Commonwealth, I will continue to work with our legislators. I'll expand our legislature actually, so that our Commonwealth can pass a heartbeat bill to protect life in our Commonwealth. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Senator Drake. Thank you,
I have news. The Chamber
No,
of Commerce
no.
and the NRA have endorsed Dickie Drake and
That's not
Communists
news
for
for this.
America.
That's not news for this.
What's the honest?
Let me just finish the stream.
This debate has ended. This debate has ended.
Okay, thank you everyone for participating in this
Thank you
debate.
everyone for participating in this debate.
Senator
We were
Drake.
glad to have you here. Thank you. Good night. This debate is over.